Kathmandu, a metropolis in the heart of the Kingdom of Nepal, a land of snow-white mountains and home of the gods. A melting point of races and religions, located between China and India. Magical, mysterious and enchanting. It was only a few decades ago that ancient Nepal opened up its borders. Until then, due to the command of the ruling Gurkha dynasty, the home of the divine was totally isolated. The foundation of Kathmandu, formerly known as Kantipur, took place during the first third of the 8th century. This majestic city was at its zenith between the 16th and 18th centuries. In the heart of the city is Durbar Square, the Palace Square. This is where the country's royalty resided until 1908 and where the most important festivals take place. The discovery of the wheel ended the Middle Ages in this country of myth and legend that, for hundreds of years, had previously been artificially maintained by its ruling monarchs. This group of temples was designated by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. These sacred buildings encompass Nepalese religion, belief and culture. Located above a large number of steps, the mighty Taleju Temple towers above all others. Architecturally, this temple mountain highlights the exceptional importance of the goddess. Precious ornaments and gilded windows decorate the sanctuary. This temple dates back to 1560 AD. It elevated the art of building and was successfully copied by other cities in the valley. The former palace area of the Malla rulers is still the true center of the city. As is customary in Nerwa cities, royal buildings and religious temples are tightly packed together. At its center is the ancient palace of Hanumandoka, of which only a handful of its 35 or more royal rooms are open to the public. The palace derived its name from the richly adorned gate that was dedicated to the monkey god Hanuman. As a protective deity, it was deemed that he would prevent evil spirits from entering the royal palace. Most of the palace's main features were built during the 16th century and were subsequently enlarged and renovated. The entire complex extends to the bazaar. Unfortunately, the main part of the palace was destroyed during an earthquake in 1934. Stone buildings and wooden pagodas collapsed and were destroyed. In spite of the country's colourful variety of beliefs, the tolerant attitude of each of its religions has assured the peaceful coexistence of many different ethnic groups. People from all over Nepal visit Durbar Square, unchanged for many centuries. Here there's shopping, and one can also relax on the steps of various temples. This three-story temple is dedicated to the god Degwale and was built by King Malla within the temple complex to demonstrate the connection of this god to the royal family. Three roofs and a 5-step high pedestal were designed to emphasize the power of both the goddess and the king over the neighboring cities. The large relief of Kala Bhairava, the frightening manifestation of the god Shiva in the role of an avenger, looks down on passers-by. The defeated demon lies at the foot of the six-armed god. The strong religious faith of the people stems from their belief that their sacred country was the birthplace of Buddha. For many centuries, this was the center of Buddhist power and culture, and it's here that the largest number of temples is found, dedicated to numerous deities. The strangely built Kastidega shrine is the memorial for both wives of King Pratapamala, who died in 1649. The Shiva Parvati Temple dates back to the early years of the Shah Dynasty. Its 5-sectioned portal-like frame features text that is believed to be ancient Nepalese writing. Lions guard the entrance to Shiva and Parvati and deter evil spirits from entering. The colourful life of these ancient temples is constantly observed by the gods. The small Trilokya Mohan Mandir temple is dedicated to the god Vishnu and was built by King Parthivendra Malla for his brother. The square is dominated by a replica of the Jaisi Deval temple that is situated in the south of Kathmandu, the Maju Degas temple. This votive temple also enchants with its meticulously carved wooden roof beams. And here a group of bicycle taxi drivers wait expectantly for their next clients. On the western side of the less important Vishnu temple, a well-proportioned 17th century Garuda figure kneels in adoration. Legend has it that King Pratapamala sanctioned the construction of this replica. Kumari Chowk is the residence of the living goddess Kumari. For this role, a young girl is duly selected and is disallowed from leaving the palace until puberty. Her task is to affirm the king his power. Thus she is locked in a darkened room and is shown frightening demonic masks. The girl must be fearless, for that is a sign of divine determination. The facade of the Buddhist monastery is decorated with an abundance of wooden carvings. However, once a year, the young girl is the focal point of a procession through the streets of Kathmandu. Occasionally, she glances out of a window into the courtyard. Following their term of office, the Kumaris receive a pension from the state. Because it is bad luck to have a god as a wife, they seldom marry. Jagannath is one of the oldest temples on Durbar Square. Having always been well tended, the original building dates back to 1560, as does the adjacent Taleju temple. Jagannath is a special form of Krishna. The temple is the embodiment of the worldly mountain of Meru that is based on cosmic principles. Within this huge temple complex, the world of the Hindu gods unfolds in all its glory, and in accordance with the god Krishna, with tantric eroticism. In various secret tantric rituals, sexual unity is of great importance. In the beginning, they were based on special aesthetic principles that, following many modifications, are no longer recognizable. Traditional ceremonies are repeatedly celebrated, such as the Festival of the Children, that is a symbol of fertility and sexual purity. Various sacrifices are given to the children, who in turn present them to Jagannath. Today, it's difficult to believe that in former times, the monastery-like palace complexes were connected solely by footpath. The empty spaces were built on, and the paths transformed into streets. The large hall of the Kasthama Undapa was constructed during the 11th century, and it's said that it was built from the wood of a single tree. This was the assembly hall of the royal monarch. At At first sight, this substantial-looking building on the southern edge of Durbar Square doesn't reveal its historical significance. But this wooden house is located on the crossroads of the country's most important trading routes. Around the old royal palace, the Shah and Rana rulers bequeathed a number of great monuments, including the 9-story palace tower of Basantapur, which can still be climbed. The tower was built as a symbol of the victory over the Malla rulers, and its roof and windows are adorned with the most beautiful wood carvings in Nepal. Royalty once looked out from the safe distance of this palace tower on life in the square below. Today, the square is still a busy place. There's a lively abundance of traders. It's a place of joy, colours, and exotic aromas. The northern part of the old town is situated between the ancient trading routes to Tibet that begin in Durbar Square. This is the richly gold-plated Jagannath Temple. The religious Nepalese regard each animal as a messenger of the gods. Thus, these creatures are also treated with great honor and affection. And, as a sacrifice, the people buy corn to feed the doves. This sacred place is dedicated to the Tibetan Jamali cult, and it contains an impressive array of synthetic art on the gilded copper plates that cover its external walls. The worship of the popular god Jagannath, who is very well known to the Tibetans, dates back to the 10th century. The original home of the cult was in Patan, but by way of King Gunaka Madiva, it was introduced to Kathmandu. Day and night, people crowd through the narrow streets and alleys of the old town. The city has a population of around 400,000. All kinds of handcrafts and practical items are available here, such as brass bowls, vases and water pipes. The wooden windows and balconies of the old houses also contain fascinating carvings by various anonymous craftsmen. Here, salesmen offer everything, from bicycles to pullovers. And everywhere there are colourful painted bicycle rickshaws, perfectly adapted for the countless narrow alleys of the old town. The town's original inhabitants, the Nehwar, were joined by labourers and tradesmen drawn mainly from the Indian city of Bihar, that is situated close to the border with Bangladesh. Over the years, the melting pot of the nation has grown so much that Kathmandu is only separated from Patan by the sacred Bagmati River. The majority of the population is Hindu, but Buddhists frequently use the Hindu sanctuaries. Here, religious coexistence is a reality. On each corner, it's possible to purchase sacrifices that can be offered immediately, an eternal cycle. In several of the old town's small squares, there are holy stupas that are dedicated to numerous gods and serve to protect the surrounding area. Connected by courtyards, there's a honeycomb of temples and highly decorated dwellings several stories high. Everyday life is determined by the gods. The people even use dolls as protection from evil spirits. With its hundreds of temples, statues and filigree wood carvings, this metropolis, in the heart of the highlands, enchants all who experience it. Durbar Marg is the modern area of the city. Here, it's difficult to find golden temple roofs and beautiful Nehwar houses. In recent years, the levels of dust and smog have increased, and the hectic life of modern times is slowly but surely involving more of the population. After the earthquake of 1933, the new road was built, a shopping street for the upper classes, with fine restaurants and shops. The customs of the people in this kingdom of the roof of the world may seem strange to those from beyond its borders, but this land of both jungle and everlasting snow has developed according to its own rich traditions and beliefs. Within the shelter of its valleys and mountains has grown the amazing culture of Kathmandu.